What's up, everybody? UFC Fight Night Allen versus Curtis 2 is this weekend. We've got your whole fight card breakdown, analysis, and picks coming up. This is the last stop before UFC 300, but this is a nice little card too, so stick around. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DS, and that right over there is Dino Bambam.
Wow, you got the directions right. There we go.
I almost went left, and I was like, just go opposite.
I'm going to guess there.
Ooh.
Let's get it.
Bingo.
Hey, we're getting better at this.
Yeah, well, wish we could say the same for life in general.
Facts.
We are here today, the two of us, to break down yet another fight night card. Thanks for sticking with us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Dino Bambam has a little message for you before we go any further.
Okay. Do I?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess this is the only message that's coming to mind. I think he's talking about doing all this stuff, right? Follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. But before you do that, before you leave this video to go do that, do us a favor.
Don't do that now. What the fuck?
Right. Do it later. Just do it later. But anyways, click the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. Dino, sound of the bell.
Yeah, brother. That's the sound the bell makes.
That's the sound the bell makes, I guess, Ring that bell. That's going to notify you when our videos drop. A couple things, really quickly that we haven't touched on. First and foremost.
Yeah, touch on it for me, brother.
These really cool UFC Prime, UFC 300 flavor.
And let me just say, that's what's wrong with the world today.
Right.
This is just pure capitalistic greed, and I don't support that. He went out on a limb, on a whim by himself. He's purchasing things. I can't stop him. So
that's okay. So I got 3 of those for like $10, which is an absolute ripoff because I think Primes are like $1.50. But it is what it is. They're special edition. Another thing that I don't know if we ever touched on this, but
we've touched many things. Oh yeah, that's true. Yes.
Shout out the Pitbull, Andrei Arlovsky, the former heavyweight of the world. He signed those for us, and he let us know that an interview might be in the works at some point soon.
Cap, but cool. He wishes us well, allegedly.
Well, no, he wrote that he wishes as well, but he also said,
but, did he really mean it? I feel like he could probably go either way. Unlike how.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he really cares, but in our Instagram DMs, he said that he would be willing to do an interview. So we'll see when Arlovsky fights next. We'll do that. But speaking of interviews, we got an interview lined up next week for UFC 300 with the fighter on the main card.
Tell him.
One Cody Brundage, who's going to be fighting Bo Nickal. So that's big, man. That's pretty big. UFC 300 main card. I'm just
2 nickels. That about makes a dime.
What is that?
2 nickels. That about makes a dime.
Facts. Never been with a 10, but I've been with 5 2s, baby. But anyways, let's get into this card. What are we doing?
Let's get into it. It's a fight night card. It's Brendan Allen taking on Chris Curtis on short notice. It's a rematch. 6 fights ago for Brendan Allen. He got knocked the fuck out by Chris Curtis. Is my shit a little crooked? Maybe not. So it's a rematch. Brendan Allen obviously on a heater. We'll see what happens. But before we get to that, we've got quite a few other fights to break down, including the first fight of the night. Of course, I am talking about, and I'm sure we're all waiting with bated breath for this one. I'm talking about Melissa Tanya Mullins, who I had a fucking hell of a time trying to goddamn find.
With her 9 name changes, right?
Yep, that was a fucking nightmare. So, really it was like a moment of reflection. Like, here I am. I'm a fucking grown man searching for this obscure women's fighter. But that's what we do for you guys. That's what we do, and that's okay. And she's taking on Nora Cornhole. Dino Bambam, what do you think about this fight?
I don't know if it's cornhole. I think it's cornhole. I hope it's not cornhole. But anyway.
Tomato.
Hey, that's what they say, right? So anyways, let's start with Melissa Tanya Mullins, a.k.a. Melissa Mullins, a.k.a. Tanya Melissa, whatever her name is, right? Melissa Mullins.
A.k.a. No Mess Mullins.
Hey, come on now. Shout out Chris Mullins, basketball player. If you know, you know.
I was going to say the basketball player.
Yeah, and Cedric.
And shout out also Cedric. Yes, thank you, Cedric Mullins.
Why not? He's got some.
And
pop.
Also shout out Little Man.
Okay, who's Little Man from?
The kid that's not the kid. I mean, I guess he is young, but it's Cedric Mullins again.
No idea.
You've never seen that? The little handicapped dude.
Nope.
You play MLB The Show all the time.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's got the little bobblehead of Cedric Mullins. Yes.
Yeah. It's Cedric Mullins again. Yeah.
That dude's a monster. But anyways,
he's a beast.
Melissa
Yo.
Mullins, good power striker. She does a great job with range management, decent clinch game as well. On the ground, she's solid too. She showed us that in her last fight against Alexieva. She likes to get brawly at times, which, is probably not the smartest thing, but I'm all for it as a fan. She's a fun, undefeated fighter, not too proven, so interested to see how she looks here. She's taking on Nora Cornell, super powerful, aggressive striker. She headhunts a bunch. In the clinch, she really does go for it as well. Takedown defense is really non-existent at all, Dino. Last time out, she beat Jocelyn Edwards in a very, very sus decision. I think Jocelyn Edwards won that fight. Jocelyn Edwards is a my girl for whatever reason. Both of these girls, not the most refined. For me, I think the toughness and will of Melissa Mullins is ultimately going to be the deciding factor in this one. So I'm going Mullins by decision. Take it with a grain of salt, though.
Yeah. I'm shocked that you said Melissa Mullins is strong, or with the power strikes, or really anything positive about her striking. To me, she looks completely lost on the feet, quite frankly. No head movement.
She has decent power, is what I was trying to say. Maybe it sounded too complimentary.
No head movement, keeps her head on the center line. Excuse me, I got a fucking heartburn again. God damn it. She's not bad on the ground. She has a loss to Ivana Petrovic on the amateur scene, which is not good. But, I guess it was a long time ago. Petrovic had one fight in the UFC. You guys probably don't remember that. Trash. Looked really bad. In my opinion, Nora's going to be light years ahead on the feet, quite frankly. I don't believe Mullins is as strong as Jocelyn Edwards to be able to throw Cornell around like she did. Cornell's not great either. This is a very low-level women's fight. I thought Jocelyn Edwards won that fight too, quite frankly, but at least she kept it kind of close, and Edwards has proven to be better than the absolute bottom of this division. This is an awful fucking fight, man. It's a really awful fight. Disband the division, please. It's far and away the absolute worst division in the UFC, men or women. Cornell by just a terrible fucking boring decision.
Cool. I'm glad that we got that over with.
Yeah, me and you both, brother. Moving on. Next fight of the night, we've got Dylan Budka taking on Cesar Almeida at middleweight. Absolute hot garbage. Just a hot garbage fight, in my opinion. Again, two guys making their UFC debut from the Contender Series. You guys, if you watch this channel at all, I fucking hate when they do that. Dylan Budka, primarily a wrestler. He has 4 wins by submission. He's still really raw, fairly new to the sport. 7-2 now, though, at 24. So, maybe we can expect him to take some strides.
All right, and Dino's gone. So, let's see where he's at. There you are, my friend.
Did you get all that? Where'd you lose me?
Just go for it. We got most of it.
Okay. What I was saying is Dylan Budka looks really bad on the feet. He looks really raw. Really, it's not something that comes terribly naturally to him, the striking, I will say. He just looks like he's still got a ways to go in that department. His opponent is Cesar Almeida. He's a kickboxer. He's also 36 years old. And to, just get a contract off the Contender Series, you're 36 years old now. He's only 4-0. So you got a younger fighter that's actually way more experienced. Now, that's in pure MMA, right? Cesar Almeida, is a very high-level kickboxer. He has a win over Alex Pereira in the kickboxing scene. He also has 2 losses to Alex Pereira. But he's fought Alex Pereira fucking 3 times. And Alex Pereira was, a 2-division champ in kickboxing. So very, very high-level kickboxing. This at its core is a young wrestler versus a very high-level, late-blooming or late-coming to MMA older gentleman, 36, right? There's a 12-year age difference here. So this fight's very unpredictable, right? Almeida is obviously going to have a massive advantage on the feet. And I just feel like he's still way more seasoned, and Dylan Budka he just looks so bad on the feet. And I just think that difference is just going to be so vast. Cesar Almeida, for what it's worth, too, fought another grappler / jiu-jitsu guy on the Contender Series, and he did pretty good in managing to stay upright. So, yeah, man, I mean, this is pretty straightforward to me. I got to go with the veteran. I know he's 12 years older, and if it does get to the ground, there is a good chance that Almeida gets submitted here. I just trust him more, man. He beat the LFA middleweight champ and the Contender Series, and someone who's a jiu-jitsu brown belt. So, yeah, I mean, I just got to go with him. I think the overall combat experience and the general savviness are going to prevail here.
All right. I mean, as far as a breakdown, you said literally everything I wanted to say. It is a grappler versus striker fight. I don't have too much more to add, but in grappler versus striker, especially when it's two guys that, we're not too sure about, right? In the MMA world, especially on the higher level in the UFC, I got to lean with the grappler, man. So I'm going Budka by submission. That feels like the right call to me. But again, like you're saying, man, it's probably 50-50. Almeida is much more seasoned. He does have the higher strength of schedule, especially having fought Poatan. He looked good against the grappler last time out, man, but I just got to go with the grappler, So same breakdown, different pick. But
And it's funny how that works, huh? It's funny how that can happen. And yeah, I mean, that's just the sport, right? That's just the unpredictability of MMA. For what it's worth, I did, but this is the first time I'm looking at any of the odds. I'll be honest with you guys. I've picked 2 straight underdogs so far. So I got some more later on in the card too. How did that work out for me last card? Not great when I did that. Not this last card, but the last time I went heavy on the underdogs, it was piss poor for me. My worst performance of the year. Last card, I will say, though, I did go 9 for 12.
I'll get it.
So anyway, moving on to the next fight of the night. And we have famous Brazilian / Japanese fucking guy, Gene Matsumoto, taking on Dan Argueta. Dude, what are Brazilians? Like Matsumoto?
Yeah, I don't know.
Matsumoto. That's as
Like,
Japanese as it fucking gets, bro.
It's like Ryoto Machida, right?
He's hailing from Tokyo, Rio de Janeiro. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Anyway, what do you think about this fight?
He comes from the Shootabox dojo, I think.
I believe he does, yeah. He's undefeated, too.
Anyway, so Gene Matsumoto, 4-0, man. 24-year-old debutant coming to us from Dana White's Contender Series, a.k.a. Dancing with the Stars. Very well-rounded young fighter, man. Great Muay Thai, great jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, too, which is rare for like a young Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. The kid looks really damn good. The knock on him is the fact that he's hittable, right? He likes to get brawly. It's like that young, dumb, and full of cum kind of energy, but he just brings it, man. Good cardio. I'm interested to see what he looks like in the UFC against UFC level comp, and he is getting definite UFC level comp in Dan Argueta. Dan Argueta, definitely my boy. I believe he's a Chicago guy as well. But anyway,
yeah, he is.
Dan Argueta,
like somewhere right around here, like Highland Park or some shit.
From the area, baby. He's a high pressure wrestler. He's looking for takedowns ASAP. We know what his deal is. He's going to nonstop shoot. He's just going for it. It's like Merab-esque almost, right? I hate that we have to use that comparison because it's not exactly like Merab, but to get that point across, that's basically what he's looking to do. He's looking to use his ground and pound when he's down there. So unlike Merab, he's good with the control, right? He struggled last time out, though. He fought Miles Johns. We know Miles Johns has that wrestling pedigree. We just talked about him, like 2 weeks ago? Miles Johns a hell of an athlete. But yeah,
he's a hell of a finisher.
Absolutely. Disappointing outing for Dan Argueta last time, man. Argueta, for what it's worth, started out as a favorite. He's now a pretty sizable dog at 165. I love the underdog pricing on Dan Argueta, man, so I feel forced to take it. I'm going Dan Argueta via decision here. I think he's just going to use a nonstop wrestling attack, and it'll be too much for a 24-year-old 4-0 guy that doesn't have that much experience yet.
Yeah. This is a 10-7 MMA first, I believe. It's got to be. We're disagreeing on the first 3 fucking fights of the card. I'm going to take Gene Matsumoto, man. I just think he's got really clean, crisp striking. He's been doing taekwondo and martial arts and judo and all this kind of shit since he was 6 years old. By the way, we're just gonna vape freely on this show moving forward. I just want to we're just gonna do that. So
I just duck out of camera now.
No, we're just gonna do it openly. If Theo Vaughn and these guys can do it, we can just do it. So anyway, he's only 24, like you said, man, but crisp striking, fast hands. As raw and unnatural as the striking of somebody like Dylan Budka looks, that's how natural the striking and how the game looks to me for another really young guy in Matsumoto. He just looks super comfortable to me. He looks like a veteran, looks very composed, doesn't look like he's out of his element at all. 14-0, and that's mostly in LFA, like you said, which is a very decent promotion. He's fought very decent competition. He's got great cardio.
Right.
What's up?
4-0, right?
He's 14-0, dude.
14-0. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name is 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But yeah, he's really good, man. I really, really like this kid for 24 years old. I mean, we'll see, right? A lot of times we're excited for these prospects and then things don't end up going the right way for them. I have high hopes for him. He's been fighting since he was 6. Like you said, he's fighting Dan Argueta. He hates getting results for his fights. He got 2 straight no contests. Yeah, another LFA vet. Argueta's a wrestler, like you said. He's relentless. He's not bad, and he actually had Miles Johns rocked, I believe, last fight too.
Mm-hmm.
But Miles Johns just ended up getting the best of him. Yeah, I mean, I just got to go with Matsumoto, man. I just think he's going to be a much better striker. I think he's actually the more refined striker between him and Miles Johns too. He's also definitely got better cardio. Yeah, he's got more pro experience than Dan Argueta. So, yeah, I expect the cardio to be able to carry him. I think he's going to be too fast, too much on the feet. And I expect him to be able to hold his own on the ground. He's very athletic. I got to go with Matsumoto by decision here, man.
Hey, and Dino, like I said, I get it, man. The kid looks super damn sharp. He's really damn impressive. I just want to see him, fight some UFC guys before I start picking him like that.
Yeah.
And just as a correction, Almeida was the one that was 4-0. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. It's all good. But yeah, I can't believe we disagree on the first 3 fights. Somebody's fucked.
We might disagree on the next one.
We might. Damn. Holy shit. Yeah, I think it speaks to what they really think of him when they're giving him somebody like Dan Argueta in his debut fight,
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is not like a terribly high confidence pick for me. So
yeah, I get it, man. But the kid is impressive, so I'm really interested to see what he looks like.
Absolutely. Moving on, next fight of the night, we've got Cynthia Calvillo taking on Piera Rodriguez. Cynthia Calvillo, I believe, is coming off
5 losses, something like that.
Yes. So not good. Yeah, man. In my opinion, Cynthia Calvillo just bad at fighting. Yeah, 9-6, 5 straight losses, and half of them were really to not the best competition. Let me see who we're talking about here. We're talking about the likes of Lupi Godinez is not a bad decision, and it was a split decision too. So that's fine.
She got robbed in that one, but
she kind of did. But Nina Nunes split decision. Andrea Lee corner stoppage, and then she fought Jessica Andrade and Caitlin Seminara. Fine. I'm just not super high on her, man. I'm really not. Yeah, I just don't think you should be taking Nina Nunes to a split decision in 2022. But she's also 36 years old. She's a decent striker, but she just kind of throws shit out there like without any real intention of landing at times, and I fucking hate that. That was like the Macy Barber style when she first came onto the scene. No power. She's pretty slow with the hands. They're actually kind of similar in that. Piera's also slow as fuck, lacks any explosion. But I think Piera's going to have the advantage on the ground. And listen, man, I can't really begin to pretend to really know who the fuck's going to win this fight. I know Calvillo's fought a lot of good fighters too, but to me, this is still a fairly low-level women's fight. I'm going to take Piera by decision. I just believe in her a little bit more. I do think the fight gets to the ground at some point, and I think she has the advantage there. Again, Calvillo is 36 years old. A very low confidence pick here too, though.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Look, Cynthia Calvillo, I'm pretty sure she was cut and then they re-signed her.
Yeah.
A 5-fight losing streak in the promotion, that never looks good, right? Even though the last one was that split decision robbery against Lupi Godinez. But again, what does that really tell you, right? Because we just talked about Lupi last week, and Lupi is one of those girls, man, where you never really know which Lupi Godinez you're going to get. She's either really good sometimes or she's really bad sometimes. That was a bad Lupi Godinez. Cynthia Calvillo did enough to win that fight, but I guess not in the judges' eyes. But regardless, not an impressive performance. She is a solid fighter, though, man. She's well-rounded. She's decent. She's a little old and slow, like you said, but she's okay. She was, at one point, a pretty good fighter, but it looks like she's lost a couple steps at this point in her career. Piera Rodriguez, a great striker, in her own right, a finisher. She swings wild as hell. She swings for the fences. On the ground, she's all right. Good takedown offense, decent takedown defense. Again, nothing really stands out about her except for the fact that she is a little wild. There is a chance that Cynthia Calvillo wins this one by just being the smarter, veteran. But I think Rodriguez
a lot of the times that is the case in lower level women's fights.
And you were talking about it, I think just last week we had a conversation about how A lot of times in these women's fights, it's the older lady, right? It's the veteran that goes and takes these.
It's the inverse of the men's fights.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Rodriguez seems like sort of a lock. So I think Calvillo's tough enough to survive, but I don't see this fight being like that close. So give me a decision for Rodriguez. But what the hell do I know, bro?
Yeah, and this is the first one that we're agreeing on, huh?
Let's get it. I like that.
All right. Moving on to the next fight of the night. We've got, what's his first name? Alatengheili versus Victor Hugo. What's his first name? He's got like several fucking first names.
It's just Alatengheili, right? It's like one word.
Alatengheili, yeah, versus Alateng. Wait.
I think it's just like one word.
Is that first and last name like combined?
I mean, it's Alatengheili, Alateng, but they just go by Alatengheili. It's just like Cher, you know? He's got like one of those. Shout out Cher. Never thought we'd do that on this podcast.
That would be like if you were just like Dina Bebem.
Right. Just, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this fight?
Great question, man. All right.
What a fucking stupid nickname Victor Hugo has.
What is it?
Striker.
Sick. Like Charles Oliveira, jiu-jitsuer.
I'm going to punching him.
Anyways, Alatengheili, well-rounded fighter, but he's one of those 50-50 guys, kind of like Loopy that I was just talking about. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, right? I also don't know about
Gennaro Gattuso.
Shout out Gattuso. I don't really know about his fight IQ, man. Like his fight plan, his game plan never really seems to make sense, or it makes sense, but he never deviates from it, right? It's like he either
No, you're right. Like he fought Chris Gutierrez. He could have literally taken him down. He shot one takedown and was with 15 seconds left in the third round.
And that's what makes me think his fight IQ is not all there. Maybe it's his corner. Maybe it's not him, but
maybe it's his cornhole.
Maybe he really, really like sticks to the game plan his corner has, and they're just like unwilling to budge.
I doubt that.
But anyways, man, like he's really invested in whatever the hell he's doing, and that's all he's invested in. He has UFC losses, as you mentioned, Chris Gutierrez, Casey Kenny. The 4 wins that he has are against like mediocre comp. He's okay, well-rounded, nothing special. He's fighting Victor Hugo, a Dana White's Contender Series alum who is making his debut. By far one of the, like I looked at his Tapology. It's one of the coldest photos you'll ever see on Tapology.
Who?
Victor Hugo. He's just standing there like posing with a knocked out dude behind him.
He's just like,
Right. It's cold as hell.
Yeah,
so check that out. If you guys go to Tapology, Victor Hugo, it's a sick ass picture. But anyways, he's a big ass 135er, dude. He's fought, I think, at 45, 55. I think he's fought at welterweight. He's aggressive as hell. He's wild as hell. He's striker, as his nickname would indicate.
He's not a striker though.
Right, but I mean, he'd be throwing, bro.
He'd be throwing, but to me, he's more a jiu-jitsu guy.
Hey, man, I think he's just one of those guys, that's a finisher. I think he's out here to brawl and just get it. Like that, to me, he's a straight up brawler. He's one of those people that's not like, it's not like he's down to brawl. He fucking like insists on brawl.
He just ends up doing it.
Yeah, like he insists on it. Like that's what we're here for. So I like that. Look, I think he's got serious power. I feel like Victor Hugo is going to eventually crack Alatengheili. He has good enough takedown defense to stay on the feet. If Alatengheili's sole game plan is to take him down, I think he could stay standing. And if the game plan is to stand up, I think he's going to get chinned. So this aggressive ass guy, powerful on the feet, I see him finding the chin. I'm going Hugo round 2 KO.
Yeah. I mean, I great breakdown overall. To me, Alateng is low-key primarily a wrestler, but he just gets wrapped up in the fight sometimes and ends up striking like he did last time. I thought he actually put up a decent fight on the feet versus Chris Gutierrez. And maybe Chris Gutierrez is not as good as we maybe at one point thought. But, yeah, props to him. Put up a decent fight versus a high-level fighter. To me, this is really like a wrestler versus a grappler, and then Victor Hugo just throws bombs. Alateng, when it comes to the striking, is more of a volume striker. I think he's better served to use his wrestling. I'm curious to see if he's going to do that. But with an opponent who has a high jiu-jitsu pedigree like Victor Hugo, I don't know if that's going to work in this fight. So I could see this fight being one of those where even though it's a guy that's a wrestler and a guy that's a jiu-jitsu guy, I could see it playing out on the feet for the most part. If that's the case, Victor Hugo does have more power. I think he's the way more dangerous guy. He's a true finisher, like you said. Lots of finishes by leg submissions. I want to say he has like 6 of them. He loves attacking the legs for submissions, the knees, the ankles, all that kind of stuff. He almost got a calf slicer on the Contender Series. That's not something that we see very often. So I think that speaks to his jiu-jitsu pedigree. On the feet, I expect Alatengheili to have the advantage overall, aside from the power. I do, and it's not that he doesn't have any power. I just think Hugo is going to have the more pure power. I have a feeling it's going to play out on the feet, man. I really do. I don't know why. That's, I get that feeling for the most part. But yeah, I don't know if it's smart if Alatengheili takes him down, and if he stays on the feet, I think he gets chinned. However, I'm going to go with a second-round submission. I think that eventually he does get to the ground. Alatengheili is not a big jiu-jitsu submission kind of guy. Then I think Victor Hugo finds the sub in round 2.
And did you not look at the poor bastard that's suffering behind him in the Tapology photo? Look at that guy. Look how,
I mean, I've been looking at it.
That guy is struggling, bro. That guy is in some shit.
Midway. He's done.
I love that.
It would be. It's more embarrassing to be knocked. The less to be embarrassing to be knocked out than like, just straight suffering.
I gotta find that fight and see what happened, bro. That's
and then for this motherfucker to be emoting, like in front of you,
right? That's wild, bro.
That's dirty work, my friend. Anyway, next fight of the night, one of my personal favorite fighters. We got Norma Dumont taking on Germaine de Randamie. This is a big step up in competition for Nora, no matter how you slice it. I know de Randamie has been out for a while, but I think it's an appropriate step up for somebody like Norma Dumont. She's looked good from all angles lately, and I mean all angles. She's one of my favorite fighters. I just love watching her. I could watch her like, fucking vacuum. And I would have.
She's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Oh my goodness!
Yellow joints. You think she gets the yellow joints this week or what?
I hope so. I hope something lighter for sure.
Them yellow venom joints. Okay.
Yeah,
What I mean? Yellow versus white. What do you?
Oh, do white all day.
Yeah.
White all day. I'll tell you this: I wouldn't kick her out of the bed for getting crumbs in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll say that. She's well-rounded.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that too.
Okay.
All right. And so is her martial arts skill. Okay. Good counter punching style in the feet. She isn't really out of sorts anywhere, man. When she gets you to the ground, and she's capable to do that, she doesn't really do a ton of damage, but she hits hard. She goes for it. And her opponent, Germaine de Randamie, hasn't fought since we were all wearing masks, right? It's been damn near 4 years. She's now 39 years old. She is a former champion, though, right? If you look at her pedigree and her fights, really, really good overall. Last time we saw her, she finished Juliana Pena by sub. And Juliana Pena has become a little bit of a meme because she's so goddamn delusional. Delulu, as the kids say nowadays. But de Randamie was really good, man. She's good everywhere. Great movement. She's huge as fuck. She's huge as fuck for the weight class. Great striking. She's very creative. She's good, man. And I expect her to still be pretty good, but fuck, 4 years out of the game. She's almost 40 years old now. She's fighting another girl who's on the up and up. I think Norma's the real deal, man. I don't see her being outclassed anywhere. She's much younger and she hits hard. I just got to go with her. I just think de Randamie is too much of a question mark here, and the age does scare me a little bit. And also the motivation, right? Like, what is the motivation? Is it a paycheck? Because it kind of feels that way, 4 years out of the game, at the top of the game, you left, and then now you're back, and you're almost 40. It's a tough sell for me, man. I don't think she's going to be champ, and I think truly that Norma Dumont does have championship aspirations overall, and I think she's up there with the best of them, man, in this weight class. I'm going to go Norma by decision.
All right. Look, Norma Dumont, man, she stays really busy. She's clean. She's tough to hit on the ground. She's solid, as we know. Good takedowns, good takedown defense. She gave us that amazing moment last time out of Chelsea Chandler just running away and being a meme. So we're, as an MMA community, I feel we're all forever indebted to her just for that moment, right?
Well, and for every time she steps out, she gives you something to watch. What's all that movement back there?
It's a blessing, baby. It's a blessing. She's taking on GDR, man, Germaine de Randamie, former champion, as you said, 39 years old. Hell of a kickboxer, former kickboxing. Like, she was a former kickboxer, great record there. One of the most talented women that we've ever seen in MMA in the young history of women's MMA, right? She
didn't get finished by prime Amanda Nunes,
Right, and prime for prime, this is a no question for me. This is Germaine de Randamie the whole time. The issue is the 4 years out of the cage, right, since her last fight. Her last fight, as you mentioned, was a win versus Juliana Pena, who went on to become champion. She has a win over a current champion in Raquel Pennington, another former champion in Holly Holm. So that's 3 UFC champions that she's beaten. She only has 2 losses, Dino, in the last 13 years, both to Amanda Nunes. So that's a little ridiculous. But I am petrified of the 4 years off, so I can't pick somebody who hasn't been in the cage for 4 years. It's just ridiculous to me. So I have to take Norma Dumont. I would not be shocked at all if Germaine was just, better than her and won the fight. I'm very interested to see what she looks like.
I'm more interested to see what Norma looks like.
Always.
So,
no, I get that. I respect it.
Yeah. Type shit. Next fight. Court McGee taking on Alex Morono. Court McGee, obviously a legend of the game, another 39-year-old, and he's taking on Alex Morono, who we know has been kind of inconsistent at times. But what do you think about this one?
I feel like legend is they're throwing that out there a little loosely, but I like Court McGee. But anyways, Court.
You know what? I agree with you because I had written legend and then I took it back in my notes and I was like, he's been around,
Right. He's definitely been around, man. A veteran, a 39-year-old UFC vet. He's been here forever. Well-rounded, as you would expect from anybody who's 39 and has been in the UFC for all these years. You have to be well-rounded to stick around, right? Good striking, good grappling, which is kind of what he's been relying on lately. He's been using a lot of that wrestling and grappling. Last 2 times, though, unfortunately for Court McGee, he's been knocked out early. That's never a good sign, for a 39-year-old fighter when your chin's been getting cracked like that. He's taken on another veteran in his own right, man. Alex Morono, an 18-fight UFC veteran. He also lost.
He has 18 UFC fights?
18 UFC fights,
Holy
man.
Fuck,
yeah,
dude,
he's been around for a minute.
Bro, what?
That's crazy, huh?
Whoa, that is really fucking, whoa, that's blowing my mind right now. I had no idea.
I'm saying,
whoa.
Dude. So his last fight, Dino, he lost to Joaquin Buckley. Morono, he's also well-rounded, right? Again, be around for 18 fights. You got to be. He's got very, very clean boxing. I've always thought that about Alex Morono. He looks so damn sharp in the boxing department. Good wrestling. Takedowns in general are pretty good, even from the clinch. He's sharp, but he's another one of those fighters, another guy on this card that's one of those 50-50 fighters, right? He sometimes looks good and sometimes looks terrible. We really don't know what Morono we're going to get. He was on that super hot streak for a little. He's no longer on that. To me, though, this one's Morono. I feel like he's going to get the KO. I don't know that it'll be in the first, like the last 2 times out for McGee. I think it'll come in the second, but Morono's the younger fighter who's probably better everywhere at this point. And I get the feeling that Court McGee's chin is gone now.
Yeah, great breakdown. I agree with everything that you said. Court McGee, man, been around forever. A real, true, not early UFC veteran, but a guy that's been around for so goddamn long. It's interesting. I feel like earlier in his career, he used to be more of a striker, right? Yeah. And then, over the last few years, I guess that makes sense. Less impact, he's become more of a wrestler, grappler. He's got some nice subs and all that too. He's pretty well-rounded, man. He's super goddamn tough. Like you said, he's taking on Alex Morono. He's not special anywhere to me, really. The boxing is okay, but it's more volume striking. He's not like a KO guy,
Absolutely.
But what you said that Alex Morono should be pretty much better everywhere. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. And this could be a fight of 2 guys with potentially questionable chins. Alex Morono, we've seen him chinned. I was never super high on him, but there was a sect of people that were. I was never really on that boat personally. But Court McGee definitely has the more questionable chin at this point. Like you said, 40 years old. Alex Morono is prone to these kind of fights where he loses these, right? Where this could absolutely be in a way a trap fight for somebody like Alex Morono. I just don't really see it. Am I super confident? No. But I think he'll survive a dangerous situation or 2. Maybe he gets clipped or, almost gets into a sub. But Alex Morono's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you knew that. But, I mean, yeah, I think he has the know-how and the savviness to survive anywhere. I don't think he gets the finish, but I'll take him by decision here.
I feel that. Yeah, he's not too dangerous with the hands, so I get where you're going with that. One thing to note, though, with Alex Morono, like I said, he was on that run, right? He beat Cowboy, an aging Cowboy, David Zawada, Mickey Gall, and Matt Semi the Jedi. So not the best competition, but a 4-fight win streak in the UFC is a 4-fight win streak. His last 4 losses in his career, though, Dino, Joaquin Buckley, who's now a ranked guy, Santiago Ponzinibbio, who's a ranked guy, Anthony Pettis, and then the freak show powerhouse that is Chaos Williams. He got knocked out really quickly in that one. So
man, what a disappointment Chaos Williams has been.
Yeah, I feel you.
He's like he's literally Michael Johnson, but a little bit younger.
That's a great analogy. I like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead though.
No, I mean that's it, man. So I'm just saying, like, he's lost to some pretty good comp. His wins are against like not the best guys. Tim Means was his last win. Seems like he beats the guys he should beat, and he loses to the guys that he should lose to.
Yep. Teoscar Hernandez, by the way, another bop. That's 4 on the year now. 3 straight games with a bop for Teoscar Hernandez. Just want to say that.
Shout out to Teoscar.
Yep. Anyway, next fight of the night, we've got Trevor Peek, a true fan favorite. He's taking on Charlie Campbell, who sounds like he should be British, but he's not. Man, this should be a really fun fight. Charlie Campbell on paper is going to be the much better striker, and on paper he should be the better fighter overall. But you can't forget the dog. You can't forget the dog in Trevor Peek. He's got absolutely that dog in him, if anybody does. And he's got an absolutely goddamn granite chin. Also, he looks like a fucking Roblox character. He literally, his chin, like, physically looks like it's a good chin. And it is. So, yeah, I mean, listen, these are 2 pressure fighters, which is interesting, right? Like, 2 guys that like to march forward, put the pressure on the other guy. But I just don't think Charlie Campbell has quite that dog in him like Trevor. I know he doesn't. Like Trevor Peek does. Technically, Charlie Campbell's better, but we know what Trevor is going to do. He's going to walk you down, and he's going to stand and bang. He'll take some shots. I just trust the chin of Trevor Peek way more. I'm kind of shocked that the odds are what they are, honestly. Plus 185 for Trevor Peek. I know he lost to Chepe Mariscal last time, but goddamn, Chepe is another dog. So, yeah, listen, one thing that we know about pressure fighters, a lot of the time, they're not nearly as good, and they're actually quite uncomfortable fighting off the back foot. So I just think Trevor Peek is way more adept at the chaos that will probably ensue in a fight like this. Campbell is a real pressure fighter too. Like I said, man, he's got, nice 1-2s. He got a knockout in his last fight. I do expect this fight to take place on the feet, but I'm taking another underdog here, man. I'm taking Trevor Peek here for sure. Yeah, just basically by just being a dog. Charlie Campbell has some power, nice striking. It's not a terribly high confidence pick, but I just like Trevor Peek, man. I think he'll be able to walk down Charlie Campbell and get the second round TKO here.
All right. I don't hate that, man. First and foremost, Dino, this fight to me has fight of the night written all over it. I don't know how long it lasts. I definitely don't think this fight goes to decision one way or the other at all. Trevor Peek, as you mentioned, he's absolutely nuts. He comes forward, he throws bombs, he's ready to blast takedowns, he's willing to get hit. You said dog. Dog is perfect. Another guy on this card that's a dog, Chepe Mariscal. They fought last time out. Perfect word for him. He's honestly one of the most entertaining fighters in the promotion. I know that sounds a little crazy, but like he is like Michael Chandler. He is like Justin Gaethje. He just doesn't have the name value or skill of those guys. He's never going to be a top 5 guy or top 10 guy or world championship contender or anything like that. But he's that kind of fighter. So if you've never seen this dude fight,
he's Nate Landwehr, basically. Like,
yeah, he's like exactly. Skill for skill. I don't know that he's really like UFC level, man, but the power is absolutely UFC level.
The skill overall is not.
Right. Yeah, but the power is, the insanity.
The dog is, the chin is,
Right, all that. So he's got everything else, right? He's one of those guys. It's like hard work can take you places. That's proof. Trevor Peek is like, put your head down, go to fucking work. Say what you want about him, man, but he is fun as hell. Charlie Campbell, a Sarah Longo product, man, a Dana White's Contender Series guy as well. Another guy who's absolutely willing to brawl, but he's way more technical than Trevor Peek, as you mentioned. He's got a little bit of a ground game. I don't really see either one of these guys looking to take this to the ground, though, to be honest with you. I feel like this stays on the feet. I feel like both guys are dangerous, but I'm with you, man. I'm taking Trevor Peek. I have like a hunch that he gets this done. I know we shouldn't pick based off hunches, but I just did that. One thing to note, though, on the other side with Charlie Campbell, the Sarah Longo guys are absolutely locked in right now, right? That's something you got to consider. We just had Chris Weidman with a huge fight. Dennis Bazookia just fought. Marab's looking at a world title. Aljo's fighting next week. So those guys are really, really getting busy right now. They're cooking. But I'm going Trevor Peek, man, and I'm going the same way you are. KO round 2. And even if it doesn't finish in the second, it'll finish in the third. I don't see any way this goes the distance.
Agreed. Moving on to the next fight, we've got Lukasz Brzeski taking on Valter Walker. He's, of course, the brother of Johnny Walker. This is a heavyweight fight. Dino Bam Bam, what do you think about this one?
Let's get it going, baby. Lukasz Brzeski, 8-4, decently well-rounded guy, right? Nothing really stands out too much about him. He's got okay power, okay grappling. He's pretty tall at 6'4", so that's nice for him. But he's definitely going to be the shorter guy in this one because Johnny Walker's brother, Walter, is humongous. Last time out, Brzeski lost to the absolute op that is Waldo Cortez Acosta.
He is, isn't he?
He is. He's everybody's op, man. Walter Walker, undefeated, 11-0. Big boy, man, huge for heavyweight. He's got mediocre striking, decent technique offensively, but he's very available to get hit on the feet, so that's not good.
And he has a very weird-ass fucking nickname, the Clean Monster.
The Clean Monster. Who knows with these Brazilians, bro? You never really know, man. But what differentiates him from his brother, Dino, is the wrestling. You would think, oh, he's Johnny Walker's brother. He's bigger. He's a heavyweight. This guy's going to be doing crazy striking and spinning shit.
That's crazy to me, bro. That's so fucking crazy. I know they've trained in very different regions of the world.
Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy to me. Like
I don't think there's a set of brothers, right, that I can think of in MMA that
are completely opposite stylistically.
And right, because even the ones that are like somewhat different still have like the same base, right? Like Nick and Nate, pretty much the same.
Or at least like the thing that their brother is strong is not a weakness.
Absolutely, right? So I'm thinking about it. Nick and Nate, the Pitbull brothers, they're coming to mind. The Pettises, they're all like
what's it called? The Palestinian dudes.
The Basharats, they're Afghani. They're Afghani, but yeah.
Sorry. Oh, fuck me, yeah.
Anyways, man, look, he's a wrestler, dude. He fights like he's Dagestani. Like he trains in Russia. He lives out there, so he just be wrestling. That's what Walter Walker does. To me, Dino, this is a no-brainer. I think Walter Walker should be able to get a quick takedown, ground and pound. I'm going round 1 TKO. If he wins, bro, his brother's a huge name. You never know the kind of star power you can get with Walter Walker, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is one of those where the UFC is doing a favor of the matchmaking. And can you put me on the big screen, please?
Is that what's happening? I'm so confused. Sorry.
Yeah, Lukasz Brzeski sucks, dude. And I think
that's why you wanted the big screen just to say this guy sucks.
Yeah, I mean, not just for that, but isn't that what we're supposed to do for the?
No, we were. But I didn't know if I went first. I got confused. That's my fault. That's my bad.
Well, you just broke it down. You just did.
I know, but in my mind, you had already went on this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Lukasz Brzeski, not big for heavyweight. He's tall, but not big, not particularly strong, not super fast or anything. I do like that he throws some kicks. He's got some nice leg kicks and body kicks. Weirdly enough, he's 6'4", but he's going to be at a 2-inch height disadvantage. He's going to be at a 3-inch reach disadvantage. My only qualm with this and my only concern is that, like you said, Walter Walker is very hittable. So, but I just don't think Lukasz Brzeski has the power to really do anything to him, quite frankly. Unless he's susceptible to some goofy knockouts like his brother.
Oh my God!
Then I guess
God forbid.
Then I guess all bets are off. But yeah, this is very straightforward. It's striker versus a wrestler, and we've seen what wrestlers with a decently high pedigree in the heavyweight division can do. I think it almost feels like they kept Lukasz Brzeski around after 3 straight losses just to throw him to somebody like Walter Walker because they know he's got some name value. This is one of the locks of the card for me. I'm shocked that the odds are only minus 350. I guess it's because Walter Walker doesn't move his fucking head at all and does absorb hits. But yeah, like you said, he's basically goddamn Dagestani. He's pretty awful at striking. It's just when it comes to a fairly low level fight, wrestler versus striker, I just don't see it going Brzeski's way. There's no way, in my opinion. I actually think he's going to get the TKO. I think he'll get him down and then get the TKO finish. I'll say in the end of the first round.
2 real quick things here. Number 1, you really tweaked me out with the knockout thing. Like, what if that's in their DNA? What if that's just how their family they get knocked out?
I mean, he's 11-0.
Right. Look. Here's the thing, though. In the UFC and the heavyweight,
he's not fought good competition. Let's be real. He's fought 1-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 7-3, 3-3, 7-2, 1-1.
Because he's
Fucking,
Dagestani. He's Dagestani.
yeah.
This guy really is just living
He
that
literally took the
lifestyle.
Dagestani route, bro.
Right. He's like, I'm doing this, bro.
He
But
fought a dude named Ramadan. Fucking happy Ramadan, by the way. Happy Passover. Happy Assyrian New Year.
Happy Easter.
From our family. Happy Easter from our family to yours. So
There we go.
just want to say that. He fought a motherfucker named Cassie. So some guy retired in the 4th round last time fighting him. Smart. That's what that means.
He's like, I'm out of here.
You know what? I'm calling it a career, brother. But yeah, this is a straightforward one for me. Sure, there's some risk. There always is, but come on.
Also, second thing, you know what they should do? Him and Johnny should switch places. He should go to SBG Ireland, learn some striking.
On God.
Johnny should go to Russia and learn how to wrestle.
Yeah, and Johnny should take with him all the fucking Samoans too. All the Australian, like New Zealand guys, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, because they fucking bizarre. Very bizarre. Anyway, moving on to the next fight of the night. We've got Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Christos Giagos, and this fight is at 155. I guess I'll go first on this one. Bahamondes, man, you know, I gotta go with him. You know, he last fought Ludovic Klein, and I mean, let's be honest, he pretty much got outclassed in that fight for the most part, which you don't expect for somebody who's 6'3" in the goddamn lightweight division. But I think that was more a display of how good Ludovic Klein really is. And it's weird because I had really high hopes for Ludovic Klein early on when he first came in. I was really, really high on him. And then he, you know, faltered a couple times, and it was like, man, did I just have this completely wrong? And then I think Ludovic Klein is really hitting a groove now, and that has really aged well. So, yeah, I don't think it was more of an indictment on his overall skill. I think it was just a display of how good Ludovic Klein really is. So, Bahamondes, man, super rangy, obviously. I mean, he's fucking 6'3". He's going to have a 5-inch height advantage. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. He's a really good striker. He's got some good movement, but he has absolutely no takedowns, by the way. He's attempted takedowns. He's not one of those guys that's not attempted any takedowns, but he's literally 0% on his takedowns. Now, he's fighting Giagos. In my opinion, this is a big, big step down. Christos Giagos, you described him earlier when you were talking, was kind of like a vintage UFC guy, and that makes a lot of sense to me. And, you know, if you want to touch on that more, I won't steal your thunder there. But, yeah, it's a big step down for me. Giagos not like awful, but he's 1-3 in his last 4 fights. He does have some power. He did rock even Daniel Zellhuber last time a little bit. And Daniel Zellhuber and Bahamondes, like, they're two tall, rangy strikers, right? Like, rangy strikers. They're not terribly different. But, yeah, Bahamondes, I just got to go with him, man. I think he's hungry for a win here. I still really do believe in him and as a prospect, if you still want to call him that. I believe he's 26 now. But, you know, listen, Bahamondes doesn't have, like, the most power in the world, but he uses his leverage pretty decently. And for somebody his size, he does still have some power, and he's a decent volume striker. Giagos has a bit of a penchant for getting finished, getting KO'd. So I'm going to say Bahamondes, man. I'm going to say early 3rd round KO here, but I could see a decision too.
Yeah, I feel you, man. One thing to note, though, and I agree with most of the stuff, it's just you look at the losses on Christos Giagos' record, man, and last time out it was Daniel Zellhuber, but before that, Thiago Moises, Armin Sarukian, Drakkar Klose, and Charles Oliveira. So pretty good comp that he's losing to. Wins against Ricky Glenn, Sean Soriano, like Damir Hadjovic, which is like, okay. Those decent wins, high-level losses. He's a heavy grappler, man, but his striking is just like, it's not that level. It's not high-level UFC stuff. I think Giagos obviously is going to be looking for takedowns early and often. That's his route to victory in this one. I don't really love that approach for him, though, right? He's going to be in danger at all times with Ignacio Bahamondes' long-ass limbs if he's able to take him down. Bahamondes loves to throw up crazy subs and shit. If it stays on the feet, I don't really know that he could get in to utilize his power without getting touched up. I like Bahamondes here. I also like him late TKO. I'm going in the 3rd. I think after Giagos gets desperate, he gets a little hurt, he gets a little tired, Bahamondes will be able to find a finish.
Interesting. We've had, 2 in a row now where we agree on the exact round of or we've had a couple now in the last few that we've had that we agree on the exact round and method. Yeah, I fuck with it, man. Moving on, next fight of the night, we've got Morgan Charrière, the Frenchman, taking on Chepe Mariscal. who is an absolute R boy, right?
Oh yeah,
absolute R boy, and also somebody who's probably he's up there. I haven't done the math, but he's up there for sure with he's up there competing for the spot of who's put the most money in my pocket.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what do you think about this one?
I think that's wild that you said that, because foreshadowing the next fight, there's the guy that's lost me the most money ever. Morgan Charrière, let's start with him, right? Former Aries champion, 28-year-old French striker. He's dynamic as hell, man. Big power in his hands, great distance management, looks great in the clinch, decent takedown game. There's not too much in the takedown defense department, but he's young as hell, man, with a lot of room to improve. Very interested in seeing what Morgan Charrière looks like in like 2 years from now.
He's 28 and a half. He's not like crazy young.
No, he's not like.
And he's 19 and 9.
Right, but regardless, man, I still think that he's got a lot of room to grow, and I'd love to see what he looks like in a couple years. Right now, he is 1-0 in the UFC with a KO win in his debut. He's taken on another guy that's undefeated in the UFC, Chepe Mariscal, 2-0 as an 2-0 in the UFC and 2-0 as an underdog, you know.
And another dog again, a sizable dog again.
There we go, third time in a row, right? Absolutely.
Actually, I'm sorry, the odds went down. He's only plus 130 now.
But still a dog, man. Absolute beast. Like you said, he's an R boy. We were using the term dog for Trevor Peek. Chepe Mariscal is a dog, dude.
He outdogged Trevor Peek.
There it is. And he's 15-6 in his pro career, which doesn't look like it's not a beautiful record, but man, the losses are to super high level comp. Gregor Gillespie, Bryce Mitchell, Joe Anderson Brito, Steve Garcia, Sean Soriano, all outside of the UFC. So he
look at how that he has, and then he has wins over Pat Sabatini, Yusuf Zalal, and that's aged like a fine wine now.
Right. And so think about the competition that this guy fought pre-UFC. Essentially, all of those fights are UFC level guys.
Yeah.
He beat Jack Jenkins and Trevor Peek, as we mentioned. It's literally a joke how impressive the strength of schedule for this guy has been. That's like bananas to me. But anyways, there's no way in hell, Dino, unless we're talking about somebody that like is light years beyond Chepe Mariscal, that I would pick them. So I'm picking Chepe Mariscal here. I just can't not pick him. I like Morgan Charrière. I think he has a bright future. I feel like the wrestling and jiu-jitsu pedigree of Chepe plus the dog is going to be too much for him. I'm going Chepe by sub.
I love it, man. I love it. You pretty much hit it all in the head. Yeah, like I said, man, he outdogged somebody like Trevor Peek, and that's difficult to do. And Morgan Charrière, at the end of the day, is a fucking Frenchman, man. Like, shout out to France, you know. But what do we know about French people that come into MMA, right? They're kickboxers. They're almost always exclusively kickboxers. Look at what happened to fucking bitch ass, what's his name? Cyril Gane. And sure, that's versus the GOAT. I get that. But you got finished in like 30 seconds, bro. Like, have some respect for yourself. Morgan Charrière has never shot a takedown. He's a pure striker, and he's got good power, and he's a very high-level striker. But he's 19-9 in MMA. Chepe Mariscal has fought the way better competition, like you said. And Chepe Mariscal has a chin, too. And Chepe Mariscal's a dog. I do think he's going to eat some shots, but I trust him to stay upright on his feet, and I trust him to be able to out-scramble somebody like Morgan Charrière. I'm shocked that he's an underdog here, quite frankly. But, yeah, somebody that, like, Morgan Charrière doesn't know shit about grappling and wrestling, bro.
Right.
Chepe Mariscal,
his takedowns come from the clinch, right? His takedowns are in the Muay Thai clinch and then like 50-50s and over-under and all that kind of stuff.
Bro, Chepe Mariscal is going to get this to the ground at some point, and I trust him enough on the feet to not get finished. I trust the chin of the dog in him. I think he's going to be able to make this fight dirty and nasty and bring it into his arena. And yeah, I'm leaning with I'm going with Chepe for sure. This is a straightforward pick for me. I just don't see Charrière knocking him out or like putting his hands on him, and Chepe like just continuing to stand and bang with him. He's got more fight IQ than Trevor Peek. Let's be real, you know. Chepe had the know-how to stand and bang with Trevor Peek. Had rocked him too, but then when it got to the ground, it was clear who was much better on the ground. Chepe. I'm gonna go Chepe by decision here. I could absolutely see a sub. I think he's gonna play it a little bit safer, just because Charrière is so dangerous on the feet. But I'm gonna keep riding with my boy too, man.
Dude, Chepe, on top of all the stuff, I didn't mention it. You did. Fight IQ, man. He's a smart fighter. He's a very smart fighter.
Very smart. People like everybody was picking Trevor Peek, and I think you picked Trevor Peek versus him too. I went with Chepe. Yeah, he just passed the eye test, man. And the competition level was really high. I mean, he doesn't have like the best record ever, 15-6, but like, fuck, man, he's really good, dude.
And you bet on him twice and won both times.
I won both times big too.
I bet on him twice. I lost the first one with Peak, but then I made money on the second one.
We learn, brother.
Hey, I'm betting on him again at plus 130. I'll take the dog price all day.
I will say too, this might be one that you might want to bet tonight. You might want to bet this sooner than later. I think there is a good chance that he ends up the favorite in this fight.
I feel that. And then I want to do a transition here. The guy that's won you the most money, or a lot of money, versus the next fight, which is a guy that's lost me millions at this point, I think. Maybe millions. But Alexander Hernandez versus Damon Jackson.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. He's got to be top 5 for me too in terms of me losing money because you know what? Damon Jackson too. I'm not gonna lie. I've bet Damon Jackson a lot.
I have that in my notes that these guys, fuck them.
Fuck them. And maybe Damon Jackson, maybe there's a new mythical fighter, by the way. He went to Turkey. He did his thing. He's got a full head of hair now. So, you know, maybe there's a new mythical fighter here that's been unlocked.
You see Bald Islam?
He shaved his head?
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Is this mine or yours to break down first? Me, right?
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, listen, man. I just want to say this is the co-main event. Pretty fucking pathetic again. Go back and look at the goddamn co-main events that we've had to deal with this year. UFC 300 has ruined the rest of the year for the UFC. It just fucking has. I'm sorry. And I know, like, this is how you know that at the end of the day, we are in a capitalistic society, right? It's all about the big event, the big fucking whatever, right? If you're a true non-casual fan, and if you're casual, check out our UFC Casuals guide. This dude's been slacking on it, but we'll get back to that. But I just want to say, what the fuck, man? This is a pathetic co-main event, truly. You know, fuck UFC 300. I'm really looking forward to it, but fuck UFC 300. Anyway, Alex Hernandez, good wrestler. He's got okay striking. He's not special there, but he gives it his all, right? He really goes for it. His cardio is not great. And he's taking on Damon Jackson. He's another kind of inconsistent guy, right? There's times where Damon Jackson is knocking people the fuck out. And you're like, whoa, I thought this guy was a jiu-jitsu specialist. And he is. He is a jiu-jitsu specialist. But there are times where he just comes out absolutely hot. And like I said, he lost me a lot of money. And that's fine. No, heat against him for that. But at his core, Damon Jackson is a jiu-jitsu specialist. Alex Hernandez, on paper, should be the better striker, and he should be the better wrestler. I just can't fucking trust Alex Hernandez, man. And I especially can't fucking trust him at 145. I've really hated the move down to 145 for him. I think he's way too depleted. I think he actually looks slower, which a lot of times guys, when they move down, they look faster. I think he's slower. And I think maybe it even shows more because the 145 guys are so much faster. The chin is questionable. He just depletes himself too much, man. And I think he's even more chinny at 145. There's a world, I think, where Damon Jackson knocks him the fuck up. I'll be honest with you. I think the odds are off here, man. Alex Hernandez is a minus 200 favorite. Fuck that. I'll take another underdog here. This is, by the way, like the 5th or 6th underdog I'm taking on this card. So it is what the fuck it is. We'll figure it out. But, yeah, I got to go with Damon Jackson, man. Even at 35 and a half years old, I think he's going to get the sub eventually. I think Alex Hernandez is going to come out hot in the first round. He's going to land some shots. Damon Jackson will land a couple shots too, but he'll absorb more shots. And then Alex Hernandez is going to get fucking tired out. And by like the middle round of round 2, Alex Hernandez is going to be gassed. At some point, they'll end up on the ground. And then he's going to get fucking subbed by somebody who's super dangerous on the ground, like Damon Jackson. That's just, to me, this looks so, I can see exactly how this fight's going to go, in my opinion.
Okay. So you close your eyes, and that's what you're seeing. But then in typical fucking Alex Hernandez fashion, it's always the opposite way.
I swear to God. Dude.
I don't know that I've ever fucking picked an Alex Hernandez fight right. So
literally.
Who knows? Dude, like you said,
it's usually fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's an entertaining fighter. And it's all the reason it sticks out so much is because he looks the part. Like Alex Hernandez with that win over Beneil and wins over like good guys. He looks so legit, and then he loses to just like middle of the road ass guys. It doesn't make any sense. And then he's chinny. Damon Jackson's chinny. Like, you literally just don't know what to make of either one of these guys. And for me, the difference is literally, you look at Damon Jackson, for example, right? And you look at the losses that he's had in his career. The 4 losses, here, it says he has 4 losses in the UFC, but I think he only has 3. Yeah, anyways, or maybe he had one back in the day. Yeah, he had one against Yancy Medeiros before leaving the UFC, when before he came back or whatever. But his last 3 losses in his career, Billy Quarantillo, Dan Ige, those are back-to-back. Those are a pretty good
Dan Ige.
Hey, there we go. And then before that, it was back in 20.
Okay. That's fine.
That's fine. We're okay with that. Back in 2020, he lost to Ilia Topuria, who now looks like unreal. He's the world champion, right? And then before that, he got absolutely slumped by Movlid Hobalayev in the PFL championship, I think. He got flying.
That dude was the main character in the Jungle Book.
There it is, Mowgli. Shout out Mowgli. But yeah, he got knocked out in like 10 seconds with like one of the most viral knockouts in MMA history. It's like, dude, his losses, at least, like, take it with a grain of salt, but at least they've been to like high level guys. I think Alex Hernandez, like you said, skill for skill is a lot better than Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson's only real advantage here is the grappling, I guess the jiu-jitsu. Both guys are chinny. I have no idea. I'm also picking Damon Jackson, but it's the riskiest thing ever to bet either one of these guys. So please don't do that. I'm actually going Damon Jackson TKO because Hernandez is chinny as hell. And what the fuck do I know about these two? Like, literally nothing. I've spent hours and hours and years of watching film on these guys, and I don't know shit about either one of them.
This fight could literally, this is one of those where it could literally go anyway. It could go to a decision. It could be a fun fight. It could be a boring fight. It's probably going to be fun. But decision, a sub. Well, I could see Alex Hernandez getting a knockout. I could see Damon Jackson getting a knockout. It could be decision. The only way I don't see it, I guess, is Alex Hernandez getting a sub.
And watch, he's like omoplataing.
So guy. Fucking pound the sub for Alex Hernandez.
I swear I'll sprinkle it. I promise you I'm sprinkling that.
I feel that.
Just to lose some more money on Alex Hernandez.
I mean, at this point, you're not really losing. You almost expect it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the main event of the evening. This was obviously supposed to be Brandon Allen versus Marvin Vettori, which I would have rather have seen. But, of course, now it's Chris Curtis versus Brandon Allen. Chris Curtis beat Brandon Allen 6 fights ago for Brandon Allen. Since then, Brandon Allen has not lost a single fight. What do you think about this one?
All right, and since now we've been on the topic of betting for the last few fights, I have to throw it out there, Dino. I have to throw out there that Brendan Allen made me the most money I've made on a single bet in the UFC in like years, I would say. Like legit years, when I bet him to get that 3rd round sub against Andre Muniz, which is absolutely wild.
I remember that.
But I hit that, and that was fun. All right, Brendan Allen, man, he's been on absolute fire. First of all, absolute my boy, Brendan Allen. Let's start there. 5-fight win streak. His last loss, as you mentioned at the beginning of this program, was against Chris Curtis. He got knocked the fuck out. Good for him getting an opportunity here as he's hot to get his revenge. I think this was a better fight for him when it was Marvin Vettori, obviously a bigger name, a higher guy in the rankings that would have really put him in the conversation for a title shot if he had won this fight. Style-wise, Brendan Allen's very well-rounded. We know the grappling skills are sharp as hell. He's a submission threat really anywhere. He's probably going to need to utilize that here because he's fighting the powerful Chris Curtis, right? A 36-year-old veteran. He's a striker with some good power. He trains with Sean Strickland every day, so he's kind of slowly morphing into Sean Strickland. He's starting to use that Philly shell. He's starting to use less power. He's like throwing less power with his strikes.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, he's becoming more of like a touch-em-up guy lately because when you think of Chris Curtis, what do you think of? Like mean-ass counter hooks,
big
right?
Power and impeccable takedown defense is what I think.
Exactly. He's always been a counter fighter or like a very defensive counter fighter with like big power and the check hooks. Still got it, but less and less now. It looks like he's fighting Strickland's method. Great footwork, nice leg kicks. As you said, the takedown defense, phenomenal, man. Probably the most underrated part of his game and probably the most important thing in this fight. We saw this fight not too long ago, Dino. As we've mentioned, Chris Curtis won via KO. You know, Allen's a my boy, and he's improved a lot since then, but I don't know, dude. Underdogs are hot. Curtis chinned him last time out. I'm going Chris Curtis. I'll go with the underdog here. I feel like he's tough to take down, and he might get – and Allen, after he fails a couple takedowns, might get desperate. And when he gets desperate, he might get caught. Curtis, round 2 TKO.
Yeah, man. You said it all pretty much. Chris Curtis, one thing I just want to mention, he took the last fight on short notice of – where the fuck did you go?
I'm here, brother. Just doing something.
He took the last fight on short notice, and he's taking this fight again on short notice. Chris Curtis, we've seen, especially last fight, we've seen like he gets into his head a lot, you know? And I think one of the weakest parts of his game, weirdly enough, is his mentality. And I think maybe there's something to be said about like when he takes fights on short notice, maybe there's less time to overthink things. There's less time to get in his own head. He's got big power.
Really good point.
Thank you. He's got really big power, man, like you said. And like you said, too, or like I said, and then you underlined, is the takedown defense is going to be huge. Has Brendan Allen improved, right? That's really what we need to ask ourselves here. Has Brendan Allen improved since the last fight versus Chris Curtis? I think the answer is a resounding yes. Where has he improved, right? I think his striking has gotten better. He's not a power puncher by any means, right? He doesn't have a ton of power. And I think fighting in a smaller octagon is going to work against him too in the apex here. Fuck, man. You know, it's tough. I really, really, really want to pick Brendan Allen here. I just don't see it. I just can't fucking figure out a way that he's going to win this fight. Like, Chris, let's walk through it, right? Chris Curtis, there's a low chance of him getting taken down. And then even if he does get taken down, he has some of the best, he has maybe the best percentage-wise takedown defense in the UFC in the middleweight division. And then if he does get taken down, it's not like he gets sunned there, you know? So I just don't see Brendan Allen like getting a sub here unless, you know, he rock like, and I don't really see him rocking him, you know? So I think the short notice thing in a weird way may work to Chris Curtis's advantage. And Brendan Allen's gotten better at like putting together his skills and his newfound striking skill to some extent, right? Where he mixes it up better. But fuck, man, I just think it's a bad matchup for him. It's a smaller octagon. I think inevitably there's gonna come a big portion of this fight where he's gonna have to fight in the pocket with Chris Curtis. He just will, and I think that really works against him. And I too think he gets fucking chinned, man. I think he gets chinned. Late second round, maybe early third. I just hate the matchup. I think he had a better chance beating Vettori. You don't want to be a bitch, right? You want to get your money too, but like, fuck, man, this is not a good matchup for him. I understand why he's taking it, right? Like, this is, if he wins this, God, even though it's a lower ranked opponent, this is so big for him, right? To be on a then 6-fight winning streak and avenging your last loss, where especially you got finished, that would be so big. But Chris Curtis does such a good job mixing it up to the body, and he's got big power. I don't think Brendan Allen has enough power on the feet to really threaten Chris Curtis. I think he gets knocked out, man. I really do. Unfortunate as fuck. Like, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I got to just go with what my analysis says.
And I feel that, Dino, two things really quickly I want to throw in. He's getting the purple shorts. So if the UFC's doing the purple shorts thing for him, man, that's
Brendan Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's getting the purple shorts. So Bryce Mitchell, Sean O'Malley with the pink shorts, now Brendan Allen with the purple. We're kind of opening that floodgate, but it lets you know what they think of him, that they're giving him custom shorts. And then secondly, I don't know. I think I would have picked Marvin Vettori. I think I was going with Vettori if they would have fought. But because Vettori, another guy that's tough to take down, a guy that's impossible to knock out and sub. I feel like you don't finish Marvin Vettori. And I just
thought Brendan Allen would be a little bit more creative and like would have had enough juice to get a decision there.
Yeah, maybe, man. Maybe. Interested to see this fight. Chris Curtis could ruin a lot of UFC plans. If Brendan Allen does win this fight, I think you give him Sean Strickland, man. I think that's a phenomenal matchup.
You have to. And it makes sense now after Chris Curtis, too.
Right. It would make a ton of sense. So I'm excited. But that's
for what it's worth, too, brother, I would absolutely, if I had my druthers, I would wear purple shorts in the UFC, especially because it was my mom's favorite color.
Oh, hey, let's go, bro. That's dope. I would not wear. I'm not like a big purple guy.
Yeah.
I'm more of like I like blue. I like green a lot.
Green is my favorite color, but yeah.
That's neither here. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. You know, it's a better card than a lot of the ones that we've been exposed to recently, but obviously we're looking forward to next week, to week after this one, UFC 300. It'll be awesome. But yeah, let's get it. This is still a decent little card.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, do us a favor, click the little thumbs up. Also, while you're down there, subscribe. That's step 1. Ring the bell. That's step 2. Step 3, leave a comment. Let us know who you want to win this fight. Let us know what fight you're looking forward to the most on UFC 300. Also, you guys can do this thing. I love this. I love this. Follow us on IG at V107MMA. Be on the lookout. Going back to the bell thing, if you ring the bell, you're going to be the first person notified when we drop our interview that's coming up later this week. So that's
also look out. We're fucking up on this, but look out for this week. Several good videos. We're back to putting out good content. You know, so I'm opening a business. Dino Bam Bam got a new job. Like Dino Bam Bam has a torn fucking Achilles. But we're here. We're fucking here. We're doing it. We love you guys. We appreciate you supporting. Yeah, big things coming. Look out for the parlay video this week. I've been on a bit of a heater. Look out for the casuals video, and I'm sure we'll have at least a couple more videos on top of that too. Again, last week I was 9-12. Yeah, let's get it.
All right, so the next time you guys see his pretty ass face, he's going to be doing the betting breakdown. The next time you guys see my face, it's going to be one of two things. We're either going to be talking about UFC 300 or it's going to be the interview video. So, Dino, anything else before we head off to UFC 300?
That's it, brother. Let's fucking get there. Let's sail away. And I'm sorry, I totally forgot. We're literally doing an interview with Cody Brundage. Yeah. So look out for that too, obviously.
Yeah, that's going to be badass. So anyways, guys, he right there. See, I got this figured out now. I'm never going to mess this up again. That right there, that's DS.
Oh, fuck.
That's DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. We are the, what is it?
Hit me, with the NWO thing. Yeah, brother.
He's DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. We're the 10-7 MMA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.